California's highways are paved with more than asphalt. They're built on bones, blood, and secrets buried so deep, even time won't touch them. Some roads carry you home. Others carry you straight into hell. Tonight, we're not just telling ghost stories. We're taking you on a journey through the 10 most haunted roads in California, where phantom hitchhikers appear out of thin air, where cries echo from crash sites no longer marked, where something waits just beyond the headlights, watching, listening. Some of these roads have been abandoned. Others, people still use every single day, completely unaware of what's waiting around the next bend. But every single one has a story, and every story leaves a scar. Welcome to Real Ghost Stories, the place where nightmares were a familiar face. If the unknown calls to you, if you believe some roads are cursed for a reason, you're exactly where you're meant to be. Subscribe and brace yourself. These are the top 10 most haunted roads in California. And the final one? It's not just haunted, it's a warning. A cursed stretch of canyon so feared, even ghost hunters won't return after midnight. Buckle up. You're not just passing through. You're being followed. Haunted Road Number 10, Pacheco Pass, California State Route 152. There's something wrong with this road. Something you feel before you even realize you've crossed into it. It's like the air changes. Time slows down. You glance in your rearview mirror, and for a second, you're not alone. Pacheco Pass cuts through the Diablo Range, a winding, remote stretch of highway linking Gilroy and Los Baños in Central California. It looks like any other road, lonely, narrow, flanked by hills and old ranch land. But for over a century, this route has carried more than cars and cargo. It carries whispers of things not of this world. Long before Route 152 was paved, this land belonged to the Ohlone people. Spanish missionaries and settlers eventually arrived, bringing violence, disease, and forced conversions. Thousands died. Some say the land remembers, and the spirits of those who perished never left. Travelers began reporting strange phenomena here as early as the 1800s. Flickering lights on distant hills. Horses spooked by things no one could see. Campers awakened by the sound of chanting. Drums echoing across the canyon when no one else was near. In more recent decades, modern drivers have reported spine-chilling encounters. One of the most terrifying comes from a long-haul trucker named James Collin, who swears that just before dawn one foggy morning in 2007, a man flagged him down near the base of the pass. The figure looked lost, dusty clothes, wide-brimmed hat, staring like he hadn't seen a living soul in years. Against his better judgment, James slowed and let him in. The man said nothing, didn't ask where they were going. Just sat quietly in the passenger seat, staring straight ahead. After a few minutes, James glanced at him again. But the seat was empty. There was no sign of the door opening. No footprints. Just silence. And a sudden chill so sharp, James could see his own breath fogging up the windshield. He didn't stop driving until he hit the valley floor. And even then, he refused to take the pass again. Ever. Others report time anomalies. Drives that should have taken 20 minutes stretching into hours, or blinking to find themselves miles farther than they remember traveling. The road's curves don't always match the maps. Clocks go haywire. GPS signals vanish. And then, there are the watchers. Drivers speak of seeing silhouettes on the hills. Men in tattered clothing, rifles slung over their backs, eyes glowing faintly in the dark. Some appear just for a flash. Others stand completely still, unmoving, watching the cars pass. They don't follow. They just observe. One woman claimed she saw a group of them standing in a half circle on a ridge, arms raised like in ritual. The moment she looked directly at them, bam, her headlights cut out, her dashboard went black, and the car rolled to a stop. When the lights flickered back on, they were gone. But the imprint on the windshield, 5 long, thin fingerprints, burned into the glass. Some blame seismic activity or magnetic fields. Others whisper of ancient burial grounds and cursed trails once used to transport stolen native children. Historians note that Pacheco Pass was a deadly crossing point even during the pioneer era, riddled with accidents, robberies, and disappearances. And that legacy of death never really stopped. Locals avoid the pass at night. Truckers take detours. Cell phones lose reception, even on clear days. And still, the sightings persist. So here's the question, the one no traveler wants to ask aloud. What force guards this pass and why? Haunted Road Number 9, Chuala Road, Salinas. There are places where the darkness feels heavier, where the night air carries more than the scent of earth and dust. It carries regret, sorrow, and something that watches from the shadows. Chuala Road cuts through the farmlands outside Salinas. It looks harmless enough in the daylight. A quiet, rural stretch lined with fields and fences, broken only by the occasional tree or rusted-out barn. But when the sun goes down, this road belongs to her. They call her the woman in black. Some say she's searching. Some say she's waiting. But one thing is certain, no one who's seen her forgets. For decades, drivers traveling Chuala Road at night have reported the same thing. A figure at the edge of the road, a woman, tall, thin, wearing a long, dark dress. Her hair hangs down over her face. She walks with a slow, deliberate step, and then, just as you pass, she's gone. No sound, no trafe, nothing but the chill that creeps in through your windows and the pounding of your heart. And then there are the stories that don't end with a glimpse. One of the most terrifying comes from a motorcyclist named Raul. It was a cold autumn night. The road was empty. He was headed home, taking a shortcut down Chuala to save time. He never saw anything. No animal, no obstacle, just an invisible force that hit him like a hammer, throwing him from his bike. He woke up moments later on his back, the wind knocked out of him, and she was there, standing over him, the woman, long black hair, skin pale as bone in the moonlight, staring down, but her face was hidden. He said he felt frozen, unable to move, unable to breathe, until she simply wasn't there anymore. Gone, like smoke on the wind. He never rode that road again. Others tell of whispered voices on the breeze, soft, desperate, a sudden cold that fills the car, as if the night itself has seeped in. Some see her face, fleeting in the rearview mirror. Others feel the weight of eyes on them long after they've passed. Locals have tried to trace her story. Some claim she was a woman struck down by a reckless driver decades ago. Others speak of a mother searching for a child lost in these fields. But no grave has ever been found. No name. No answers. So every night, Chuala Road keeps its secret, and she keeps walking, waiting. And that leaves just one question. Who is she waiting for on Chuala Road? Haunted Road Number 8, Sand Canyon Road, Santa Clarita. There are tragedies that fade over time, and there are others that refuse to be forgotten. Some roads carry those memories like scars, wounds that never closed. And if you drive them at the wrong hour, you might see more than just headlights in your mirror. Sand Canyon Road snakes through the hills of Santa Clarita, a peaceful-looking stretch of pavement framed by oak trees and dry brush. But don't let the scenery fool you. Locals know this place doesn't sleep easy. It was a spring night in 1984, prom night. A group of teenagers dressed in gowns and tuxedos were driving home from their high school dance. Laughter, music, too much celebration. Some say the driver took a turn too fast. Others say something ran into the road. Either way, the car missed the curve near Warm Springs Road, and everything went silent. By the time authorities arrived, 3 teens were dead, the others badly injured. Blood on satin, glass scattered like confetti. One girl, a 17-year-old in a light blue dress, was found halfway out of the vehicle. She had been trying to crawl for help. She didn't make it, and some say she still hasn't stopped trying. The first reports came just weeks after the crash. Drivers heading down Sand Canyon late at night began seeing a girl, alone, in a torn dress, waving desperately from the roadside. Sometimes she'd appear at the curve where the crash happened. Other times, farther down, walking barefoot, arms outstretched like she was trying to stop traffic. One couple described the encounter in detail. It was just past midnight. They were heading home from a late dinner. As their headlights cut through the trees, they saw her. A teenage girl in a tattered gown, limping, waving her hands frantically. Her face was pale, smeared with something dark. The woman in the passenger seat begged her husband to pull over. They did. He got out, but the roadside was empty. No girl, no footprints, just a lingering smell, a strange, burnt sweetness like melting plastic. When he climbed back into the car, the girl was gone, but the door on her side was wide open. Since then, the sightings have never stopped. Some say she steps into the road, forcing drivers to swerve. Others see her standing in the brush, just off the shoulder, lips moving as if she's trying to speak. Those who pass her often feel it, a wave of panic, a sudden drop in temperature, or a sob echoing in the wind that doesn't come from their car. Paranormal researchers have visited the crash site. One captured a thermal anomaly, a human-shaped heat signature standing in the exact spot where the bodies were found. Another swears they heard a voice on EVP playback saying, "Please, help them." Locals have even given her a name, the Prom Girl. And some believe she's not alone, that the other victims are there too, silent, lost, repeating the final moments of a night that should have been full of life, not death. But only one of them steps into the road, waving, crying, pleading, not for herself, but for someone else. So the next time you're on Sand Canyon after dark and you see someone in a dress at the edge of your headlights, ask yourself, does she still seek help or something more? Haunted Road Number 7, Brea Canyon Road, Diamond Bar. There's a certain kind of darkness that lives on Brea Canyon Road. The kind that waits, the kind that watches, the kind that rides with you, even when you think you're alone. This narrow, twisting stretch cuts through the hills on the edge of Diamond Bar. In the daylight, it looks unremarkable, just another forgotten back road, framed by scrub brush and weathered fences. But at night, when the stars are hidden and the air hangs heavy, it becomes something else entirely. Over the last 20 years, Brea Canyon has claimed more than its share of lives. Drivers losing control on blind curves. Cars found smashed against rock walls with no sign of what sent them off the road. And every death adds another name to the list. Another soul that might still be out there. Because if the stories are true, they don't rest easy. Ask anyone who's dared to drive it after dark, and you'll hear the same tale. The hitchhikers. Figures appearing where no one should be. Sometimes it's a man in old work clothes, soaked with rain that isn't falling. Sometimes a woman, long hair tangled across her face, her hand raised, thumb out, begging for a ride. One driver, a local named Stephen, tells of the night he saw her. He was taking the canyon home, late, after a shift that ran too long. His headlights picked her up, standing on the shoulder, pale, thin, shivering in a torn dress. Without thinking, he slowed. The figure stepped toward the edge of the road, and then she was gone, as if the night swallowed her whole. Stephen said the cold hit him a second later, a wave of icy air that filled the cab of his truck. His breath clouded in front of him, and then the whisper came, soft but so close, as if it came from right behind his ear. 2 words, "Don't stop." He didn't. He kept driving, and when he looked in the rearview mirror, the seat behind him was empty. But for a moment, just a moment, he thought he saw a shape, hunched low, as if trying to stay hidden from sight. Others haven't been so lucky. There are reports of drivers swerving hard to avoid figures that step into the road, only to find there was nothing there at all. More than one wreck has been blamed on a shadow that appeared where no living person stood. Cold spots, static on the radio, the sense of a hand brushing the back of your neck when no one is near. And always the whispers, different voices, different words, but always the same feeling, you're not alone. You've picked up something, and it's still with you. Some believe these are the spirits of the road's many victims, trapped between here and whatever comes next. Others say Brea Canyon has always been cursed long before cars ever drove it. Whatever the truth, one question remains. One no one dares test for themselves. What happens if you let them in? Haunted Road Number 6, the Woodroth El Centro. There are stories that every town whispers, stories meant to keep people safe. But some warnings come too late. Some spirits don't want to be forgotten. And on Dogwood Road, there's one who won't let you pass so easily. Dogwood Road runs just outside El Centro, California, a lonely stretch that cuts through open fields and desert scrub. The kind of place where the night feels bigger, where the dark seems thicker, where even the air feels like it's holding its breath. The locals know better than to drive it after midnight, because that's when she appears. They say she's the ghost of a little girl, a hitchhiker, small, barefoot, wearing a simple dress, torn at the hem, her hair tangled and falling over her face. She stands at the edge of the road, as still as a gravestone, waiting. And if you see her, the choice is yours. But either way, the night will remember. The legend began decades ago, after a brutal accident took the life of a young girl on this very road. The details are always the same: a foggy night, poor visibility, a driver who never saw her until it was too late. The girl died alone, and the driver vanished into history. But she stayed. Drivers report seeing her just beyond their headlights, a pale outline in the mist, one arm raised, thumb out, as if begging for a ride. Some stop, most don't. But here's where the story takes a darker turn. Those who stop say she climbs into the car without a word, her face hidden, her body cold as ice. She stays silent, staring at the road ahead. And then, without warning, she's gone. No sound, no trace. Just the heavy, suffocating emptiness she leaves behind. But it's what happens to those who don't stop that keeps people awake at night. One man, a delivery driver on a late-night run, saw her at the roadside and kept driving, heart pounding, hands gripping the wheel so tight his knuckles turned white. He told himself it was just his mind playing tricks. But then she was there, on the hood of his van, staring through the glass. Her face pale, eyes hollow, hands pressed flat against the windshield. No sound, no movement, just that empty gaze as the van swerved, tires screaming, before it slammed into a ditch. When a man crawled out of the wreckage, shaken and bleeding, she was gone. No footprints, no sign anyone had ever been there. Others tell the same tale, the girl on the hood, clinging like a shadow, forcing them off the road. A warning? A curse? Or simply a spirit desperate not to be forgotten? And it's not just the figure they fear. Drivers report sudden fog that seems to rise from the ground itself, cold that seeps through the doors, turning breath to mist inside the car. A sense that the night is watching, waiting. Some believe she's seeking justice, that she wants the world to feel the terror she felt in her final moments. Others say she's trying to stop another tragedy, forever waving down drivers who are too afraid to stop. But that leaves only one question. One that haunts every motorist who dares to drive Dogwood Road after dark. Will you stop next time, or will she stop you? Haunted Road number 5, East 8 Mile Road, Stockton. Some roads were built for travel. Others were built on sorrow and never let it go. There's a reason truckers whisper about East 8 Mile Road when the night comes down. A reason they take the long way rather than risk what waits there. It's an ordinary stretch of asphalt by day. Just another back road threading through the outskirts of Stockton. But after sundown, East 8 Mile changes. And if you drive it alone, you may not stay that way. For decades, this lonely road has been the site of strange tragedies, mysterious accidents, cars found abandoned, their drivers missing, and always the same reports, two figures, two faces of fear. The first is the woman in white. She appears suddenly at the roadside, pale, still, her eyes hollow with some unspoken grief. Her dress flows like mist. Drivers glance at her once, twice, then she's gone. But that's not the end, because moments later, she's behind you. One trucker, a man named Carlos, shared his story in a forum meant for long-haul drivers. He wrote that he saw her just past midnight, standing under the flicker of a broken street lamp. He felt a chill as he passed, but kept going, pushing the thought away. A mile down the road, something made him check his mirror. There she was, in the back seat, her face inches from the glass, eyes locked on his in the reflection. He said he nearly ran the rig off the road, trying to escape that gaze. When he stopped, heart racing, cab empty, she was gone. Carlos quit the route the next day. But she isn't alone. The second figure is something darker, older, a shape some describe as a witch, hunched, wild-haired, with arms too long, fingers like claws. She's seen along the shoulder of the road, watching, waiting. She never moves. But those who meet her gaze say they feel it, that heavy, crushing dread, as if the air thickens, as if the night itself leans in to listen. Some nights, drivers claim both appear, the woman in white at the side of the road, the witch figure farther down, her eyes burning through the dark. And between them, the stretch of road where radios fail, where phones lose signal, where engines sputter for no reason at all. And then there's the older legend, the one few speak aloud. A native girl, lost to history, who is said to have died near this road's path long before it was paved. Some claim to have seen her, a fleeting, sorrowful shape in traditional dress, her small figure blending with the shadows. Unlike the others, she doesn't frighten. But those who see her say the grief is so strong it leaves them shaken for hours. No one knows why these spirits haunt East 8 Mile. Some say a driver struck the woman in white long ago and left her to die. Others believe the witch is something older than the road itself, a guardian or a curse, bound to this place by blood and betrayal. But all agree on one thing. If you find yourself on East 8 Mile and you glimpse her in your mirror, the pale woman silent in your back seat, what would you do? Would you dare look again? Or would you pray she's gone before you turn your head? Haunted Road Number 4, Ortega Ridge Road, Montecito. Every haunted road tells a story, but not every story is written in blood or prayer. High above the glittering coast of Montecito, where the ocean winds sigh through ancient trees, lies Ortega Ridge Road, a place where beauty hides its scars, and where the dead don't just linger, they march. In the soft glow of dawn, this winding ridge road looks almost sacred. But when the sun sets and the shadows swallow the hills, this road belongs to them. They call them Las Tres Hermanas, the three sisters, three nuns, bound together in faith and in death. In the mid-1800s, during the chaos of the gold rush, the sisters journeyed this very ridge, carrying only what they needed to offer comfort to lost souls. Candles, Bibles, bread. They never made it to their mission. The bandits came at night. Desperate men, hungry, angry, merciless. They took what little the sisters had, but it wasn't enough. The nuns were left to die where the road now bends toward the sea. Some say they were buried in shallow graves beneath the trees. Others say no one dared disturb their bodies because the sisters' eyes, so the tale goes, still glowed in the dark. And it's those eyes that people see now. Drivers tell of three figures standing close, holding hands by the roadside, black habits whipping in the breeze, faces pale as ash, and their eyes impossibly bright, a blue so cold it chills the marrow. Some say they vanish as soon as you blink. Others swear they walk into the road, forcing you to brake hard, your heart hammering as they fade into mist. But it's not just motorists. One cyclist, a man training for a race, shared what happened on a lonely twilight ride. He spotted faint, flickering lights ahead, like lanterns swaying in the breeze. At first, he thought it was hikers, but as he drew closer, the lights moved faster, and then faster still, until they seemed to chase him down the ridge. He pedaled hard, lungs burning, heart pounding, the lights closing in, and with them, the smell. The sharp, bitter scent of burning candles. He swore the air grew hot, choking, as if he were riding through fire. When he finally reached the main road, the lights were gone, but the smell of wax lingered on his clothes for hours. Some nights, if the wind shifts just right, travelers swear they hear soft voices in the dark, not cries, not moans. Prayers, repeated over and over in a language lost to time. Why do the sisters still walk this road? Are they searching for the bandits who wronged them? Or are they still on their mission, guiding lost souls through the darkness, even now? And if you think the three sisters are terrifying, what waits on the next road will leave you questioning what's real and what might be waiting just beyond the edge of your headlights. Haunted Road number 3, Prospectors Road, Garden Valley. The gold rush promised fortune, but what it delivered was blood. And on Prospectors Road, that blood never washed away. This 7-mile stretch cuts through the heart of what was once gold country, a place where men staked their claims, swore oaths of brotherhood, and then betrayed one another for a handful of shining dust. The hills are steep, the trees thick, and the silence here, it feels heavy, like the land itself remembers. In mid-1800s, this road was a lifeline for miners and a hunting ground for thieves. Many who walked this path never reached their destination. They were ambushed, their gold stolen, their bodies left to rot beneath the pines. And from that violence came the legend. They call him the vengeful miner, a spirit trapped between fury and greed. He's been seen near the road's embankments, where the dirt still looks raw, as if freshly dug. A tall figure, coat torn, hat low over his brow, and always the finger, pointing, accusing, silently mouthing words no one wants to hear. Get off my claim. A hiker once captured him, or something like him, on video. The man had wandered off the main path, exploring a long-forgotten trail. He heard the clink of metal, like a pick striking rock, echoing through the trees. Then a voice, distant, angry, shouting words he couldn't understand. He turned, phone raised, and caught it. A dark shape standing just beyond the ridge, arm outstretched, finger aimed straight at him. When he blinked, it was gone. But in the playback, the shadow was there. Those who drive this road after dark report strange sounds. The ring of hammer on stone. Boots crunching gravel where no one walks. The snap of twigs as if someone or something stalks the night. Some say the spirit isn't alone, that the ghosts of the murdered, the miners who never got their gold, linger here too, bound to this cursed land, watching, waiting. And the terror isn't just sound. More than one traveler has felt it, the sudden wave of cold, like stepping into a grave. The taste of dust thick on the tongue. The prickle of unseen eyes boring into their back as they try, and fail, to outrun the past. Is the miner guarding his claim, even in death? Or is he hunting still, determined to take one more soul before the earth swallows his secrets for good? The next time you find yourself on Prospectors Road, ask yourself, will he let you pass, or will he claim you too? And if you think the vengeful miner is terrifying, the next road is where fear itself waits in the dark, and where the dead don't just appear. They chase you. Haunted Road number 2, Highway 94, San Diego County. They call it the Haunted Highway. And for good reason. Highway 94 isn't just another stretch of forgotten road. It's a gauntlet. A place where travelers pray to see the dawn. Where every curve, every shadow, could be hiding the last thing you'll ever see. This long, lonely route winds through the hills between Rancho San Diego and Campo. It was once a lifeline for stagecoaches and a hunting ground for outlaws. Blood was spilled here. Stagecoaches ambushed. Travelers left to die on the roadside, their gold stolen, their bodies forgotten. But something remembers. Today, drivers tell of shadow figures that walk the edge of the highway. Shapes in tattered clothing from another century. Faces hidden in the dark. They pace the roadside, then vanish as if they were never there. Or worse, as if they still are. One driver shared footage from his dash cam. Footage that spread quietly through dark corners of the web. It shows a man stepping from the shadows onto the shoulder of the road. The car passes. The camera keeps rolling. But when the driver checks the footage later, the man is gone. No trafe. Just empty blacktop where something stood seconds before. But not all the shapes on Highway 94 look human. Some nights, drivers report a creature. A hulking figure, it's shaped like that of a gorilla, but wrong. Its arms too long, its head too low, and its face featureless. A blank mask where eyes, nose, mouth should be. One motorist described the terror of seeing it charge toward his car, a massive shadow barreling through the night. And just as it reached him, it vanished, swallowed by the dark, leaving only pounding heartbeats and a memory that never fades. And then there are the lights. Cold, flickering orbs that pace alongside speeding vehicles. Glowing spheres that float just above the ground, weaving in and out of view. Drivers say they follow you, matching your speed, darting ahead, and then blinking out as if daring you to chase. Ask the old-timers about Highway 94, and they'll tell you of the sharp turns where wagons went over cliffs, of the blind corners where headlights have revealed more than they should, of the accidents. So many accidents, blamed on drivers swerving to avoid something unseen. Or maybe something no one wants to admit they saw. And as you drive that narrow, twisting road in the dead of night, you might feel it too, the sense that you're not alone, that something stands just beyond the reach of your headlights, watching, waiting, remembering the blood that was spilled and the souls that never left. What watches from the roadside shadows of Highway 94? And what will you see if you dare look? You've come this far, but the final road is the most cursed of all. A place so feared, even the boldest ghost hunters stay away. The horror is only beginning. Haunted Road Number 1, Black Star Canyon Road, Orange County. Some places earn their dark reputation through whispers and rumors. But Black Star Canyon? Its history is written in blood, and the dead here do not rest. This narrow, winding road cuts through the Santa Ana Mountains, a place so steeped in tragedy, cruelty, and terror that few dare to walk it after nightfall. The dread begins with its past. In 1831, this canyon became the site of a massacre. Shoshone natives, hunted down, slaughtered by ranchers who wanted their land. The soil drank their blood, and many say it never let go. But the horror didn't end there. Over the decades, Black Star Canyon became a magnet for darkness. Whispered tales speak of satanic cults that held midnight rituals here, of clan meetings that left behind not just fear but bodies. Some hikers have found the trees near the old mines clawed and scarred, as if some frenzied beast, or something worse, raked its fury against the bark. And then the bus, the story that chills the soul of this canyon. They say a school bus once lost control along the treacherous route, tumbling into the ravine below. The children aboard, none survived. And on certain nights, when the moon is high and the wind is still, travelers swear they hear it. The laughter of children turning to screams. The rumble of a bus engine that never comes. The sound of metal twisting, and then silence. Paranormal investigators have come, armed with recorders, cameras, and courage. One team captured an EVP, a child's scream so piercing, so full of terror, that even hardened ghost hunters left the canyon before dawn, vowing never to return. The recording has circulated online, but no audio can match the horror of hearing it in person, echoing through the canyon's empty dark. Drivers on Black Star Canyon Road report seeing figures, small, pale, lost on the roadside. Spectral children who vanish the moment headlights strike them. Some describe seeing a rusted bus, broken and battered, appearing at a bend, and then gone, as if the canyon itself replays its tragedies over and over. And the air, oh, the air, thick, heavy, as if the canyon breathes, as if it watches. Many who visit describe an overwhelming sense of being followed, a presence that lingers just beyond the trees, just out of sight but never out of reach. Some say they feel hands brush their shoulders. Others hear soft weeping carried on the wind, a sorrow so deep it seems to seep into your bones. But the worst are the unseen things. The cold that creeps into your skin, even on the hottest night. The flicker of lights deep in the canyon, where no one should be. The shadows that move against the moonlight. What force darkens Black Star Canyon? Is it the rage of the massacred? The sorrow of the lost? Or something older, something that feeds on the blood spilled here, and waits for the next soul brave, or foolish, enough to enter? And if you find yourself on Black Star Canyon Road one night, ask yourself, is it just the wind that chills your neck? Or is it watching you now? You've traveled the 10 most haunted roads in California, but the journey isn't over. These roads may seem empty, but on the other side of darkness, the dead are always waiting. Tell us, which of these roads would you dare drive alone? Which haunting chilled you the most? Have you ever witnessed something you couldn't explain on California's highways? Share your story. We read every comment. And remember, when you leave the safety of the city lights behind and the night closes in, some roads don't want to let you go. If you crave more haunted places, hit like on this video, share, and subscribe to Real Ghost Stories, where darkness always finds you. The roads are open, but some journeys are never meant to end.